Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Roseville City Council meeting of September 3rd, 2025. I'd like to welcome you all and call the meeting to order and ask our clerk to please read the roll.
Thank you, Mayor. We'll start with Councilmember Elverd.
Here.
Councilmember Haldeshelt.
Here.
Councilmember Mendoza. Here. Councilmember Rakucci.
Here.
And Mayor Bernasconi.
Here, thank you. I'd like to ask Captain Fernandez if you would please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Right.
Thank you. I'd like to ask our clerk to please announce the meeting procedures.
Great. Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the City of Roseville City Council Housing Authority meeting. Agendas are at the end of the staff table to your right or on our city's website online. All comments from the audience should be directed to the City Council and not to any staff member or members of the public. For comments on non-agenda items, members of the public may address the City Council regarding any item not listed on the agenda and within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council. Public comments will be limited to 3 minutes per speaker with a total of 25 minutes for all speakers in the first segment. If the time limitation is reached in the first segment, individuals will have a second opportunity for public comment at the end of the meeting just prior to council comments. The Brown Act does prohibit our City Council from discussing, debating, or taking action on items not listed on the agenda. For those items appearing on the agenda tonight, the Brown Act allows the public to comment on all items listed, and speakers will have 5 minutes to provide input that is relevant to the item that is being considered tonight. Time will be monitored, and once the red light begins to flash at the podium, we request that the speaker please conclude their comments. The City Council encourages public participation and requests that all members of the public please be courteous during the meeting. Lastly, if addressing the City Council, please consider stating your name for the record. With that, thank you for your presence and civic participation, and welcome to the City of Roseville.
Thank you very much. We have one presentation this evening. We will start with the Roseville Coalition of Neighborhood Associations and annual update. Good evening.
Good evening. Honorable Mayor Bernasconi, Vice Mayor Alvord, and Council Members Rakushi, Haldeshelt, and Mendoza. I'd like to thank you for allowing me to speak here tonight. My name is Charles Aquino. I am the Vice President of Arcona. To give you a little background about myself, I'm originally from the Bay Area, specifically East San Jose. I moved out to Roseville with my wife and 2 kids back in 2021. We thought it would be a perfect place to live, raise our young family, and the rest is history. Because of my background being deeply rooted in public service, I wanted to get back involved in the community somehow and have a stake in the environment that my children would be growing up in. That's when I found out about Arcona, and a year after, I'm a vice president, and they sucked me in. And that's when I started the Solaire Neighborhood Association. And then my colleagues and I are here today to speak about our organization and the things that we've been up to during the past year or so. We have about 5 speakers. We have 5 speakers, including myself. Keynote here, each of us represent or are from each of the 5 district councils of Roseville. Next slide, please. Today, Arcona is considered to be the largest nonprofit organization in Placer County in terms of its volunteer force. We are a 100% all-volunteer group. This includes board members of Arcona, the board members of all neighborhood associations that are currently active, and neighbors that help out at our events and activities. We do not have any paid staff. We represent 160,000 residents of Roseville, and the very core of what we do is community engagement. By hosting family-friendly events, supporting and promoting city-sponsored programs and initiatives, and facilitating communication between neighbors and city officials and electeds. Next slide, please. Up next, I have Ed Kriz of Fitterman Farm. He'll be talking about our history and, yeah, take it away.
All right. Thank you, Charles. For those that don't know me, I'm Ed Kriz. I'm a member at large on the Arcona board. I'm also vice president of the Fitterman Farms Neighborhood Association. And it's just wanted to express how great a community asset Arcona is in regards to communication to and from the community. So I was on city staff when the initiative was launched. It kind of gives me a unique perspective on this. I was used that as a communication channel for a lot of the work that we did in environment and utilities. So as a representative in environment and utilities at the time, we used that to go through some major programs. Specifically was the meter retrofit program. We used the Arcona structure to talk to each individual neighborhood, because this was a program that impacted the entire city, but it impacted everybody a little bit differently, depending on what the nature of the construction was and the age of the home. So we were able to use Arcona to go to neighborhood association meetings that were formed. We tailored our message to go talk to the community about what was going on, why it was necessary, and be able to identify the impacts to them. And we were able to tailor our message to each individual neighborhood, which was very effective in that way. We also went out with a lot of messaging related to rates, with recycling, conservation, droughts, and then let's not forget the overall cash for grass. That's one of our favorites. But having the opportunities to connect with the customers on a regular basis was very effective in regards to maintaining that dialogue with the customer. I know that communication strategies have changed. Their demographics have changed. Different tools are available, but there's still a need for that face-to-face meeting in the community to be able to engage with those in the community, and I think Arcona is a great platform to be able to facilitate that. As an example, just a couple weeks ago, we hosted, this would be West Park and Fitterman Farms, hosted a meeting, open meeting. It was Vice Mayor Alvord and Greg Bitter from planning came and shared a little bit about what was going on in West Roseville in regards to planning and what the future was held out there. And as you can imagine, there were a lot of questions, a lot of dialogue, but there were over 100 people in attendance at that meeting to be able to take that messaging back directly to their friends and neighbors. So the value of Arcona as a communication channel and a network to be able to get the message out, I think is highly effective, and that's one of the reasons why I remain engaged and continue to participate in the organization. So next, Bonnie is going to tell us a little bit about who's still engaged and who's out there to be able to work with.
Thank you, Ed, and thank you all for having us here. My name's Bonnie Shadle. I'm from the Cherry Glen Neighborhood Association, and I'm the recording secretary for Arcona. I have been for the last 3 years. We have many neighborhood associations that are active. There are others that are working on becoming active at the moment. Each of these neighborhood associations sends representatives to our monthly meetings, and then they take that information back to their neighborhoods for their monthly or quarterly meetings, whatever they choose to have. Collectively, we have over 100 board members. Next slide, please. Arcona is made up from people of all walks of life, all parts of the city. We are people who live here, who work here, and who have chosen to raise our families here. Some are Roseville natives, and many are people who moved here to be part of a community like this. We hear that all the time, that they moved here because we have community here, because we offer these awesome things. Next slide, please. We are, like I said, over 100 volunteers, and we span the entire city, and we're always growing. Next slide. Next slide, please. So these are, oh, sorry, I think we missed one. These two slides have our executive board members. There are 9 of us plus 1 advisor. We are all volunteers. We all give countless hours to support Arcona, our city, and the things that are going along. Our next speaker is Melinda Sermani. She is from the Cherry Glen Neighborhood Association, and she's going to tell you about some of our volunteer work and some of the larger things we do around the city. Thank you.
There, and I'm from Cherry Glen. I'm on the board. I used to be the president. Bonnie is from Kirby side, just to clarify that. Next slide, please. Arcona hosts many city projects that bring neighbors together, such as the spring cleanup, Santa in the neighborhood, garden walks, garage sales, and many more. Next slide. We held our third annual spring cleanup this year. This is one of our most popular events in the city. We help offset the cost for the city by providing a significant amount of volunteers. This spring, we logged almost 1,000 volunteer hours, and we collected about 140 tons of large garbage items, the ones that people might have lying in their garage or the side of their house. Next slide. We're a two-way conduit of information for the city. The police and fire department personnel come to our neighborhood association meetings to share public safety issues and listen to the concerns and answer questions from residents, which will be brought back to the city. For example, before the high school bond went onto the ballot in 2016, the Roseville Joint Union High School District representatives came to our neighborhood meetings to share information and answer questions. It is a great form of communication which benefits the city. Next slide. The neighborhood association meetings may include speakers presenting topics ranging from homelessness and cybercrime to parks and rec projects and environmental utility programs. Residents have the opportunity to voice concerns and ask questions about neighborhood issues. Some neighborhoods enjoy potlucks or pizza along with their meetings. Next slide. In 2024, Arcona provided volunteers as couriers for the March primary election, and we also had volunteers who worked many hours at the general election in November. Next slide. Arcona celebrated the retirement of city partners who work with Arcona, such as Brian Jacobson, and we award scholarships to high school students who have contributed volunteer hours in their neighborhood and or at Arcona events. Next to speak is Randy Schwartz from the Stone Ridge Neighborhood Association.
Good evening, and thanks for letting us be here tonight. In addition to our community service programs and serving as a conduit between the city and the community, most of our work takes place within the neighborhoods. Most of the neighborhood associations host National Night Out celebrations, well-attended first Tuesday in August each year, and a few of the neighborhoods push it back a little bit, hoping for cooler weather. But we really appreciate council members, city staff, police department, fire department, park rec, library department staff coming out and assisting with these programs, with the regular meetings and also those special events. As well as some of the staff comes from Placer County staff as well. So next slide, please. Nope, if we can go one more slide. Thank you. Individual neighborhoods host a wide range of special activities. Shown here is our Wheels Parade that's held just before 4th of July, the last couple of years, starting a new tradition up in Stone Ridge Neighborhood Association. That parade has decorated bikes, scooters, wheelchairs, tricycles, and other non-motorized vehicles. Next slide, please. Here we host some Easter activities. Next slide, please. We also do Halloween and holiday home decorating contests. Next slide. Our Letters to Santa and Photos with Santa programs are also very popular. Next slide, please. We also conduct bocce tournaments, cornhole tournaments, pancake breakfast, litter cleanups. Next slide, please. Garden walks, neighborhood walks, movies in the park. And thank you for letting us bring a whole year of activities into the council chambers tonight. So that's my presentation, and I'll turn it back over to Charles.
All right, next slide, please. Next slide. These are just photographs of like the events we've done all year in the past year, year and a half or so. I want to highlight Sweet Celebrations, a little flyer onto the bottom right corner. That is our, we had our inaugural recognition event this past April, where we recognize our volunteers, our Lifetime Achievement members such as Jim Kidd and Werner. I believe they're in the room. Next slide, please. Looking ahead, we look forward to planning the next Sweet Celebrations recognition event. So keep an eye out for the added information as we push it out. Introducing the newly built neighborhoods in West Roseville to Arcona and activating additional neighborhoods overall throughout town. Continuing our partnership with the City of Roseville, continuing to build a strong community through our coalition of neighborhood associations, and most importantly, continuing to advocate for the highest quality of life here in Roseville for all stakeholders. Next slide. I'd like to thank our sponsors, mainly the City of Roseville, as you can see on the slide there, Hignell, Roseville Firefighters Union, 1592, and Panatoni. Next slide. Another photograph of our spring cleanup activity. Next slide. I'd like to end the presentation with saying that we are Roseville. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that information. We will move on to public comment. Now is a time for anyone to come forward to make a comment on any item that's not on the agenda. You'll want to fill out a yellow card that's on the table at the end. I have 3 cards so far. All right, we'll just move in. Do you want to anything about public comment?
No.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
Speakers will have 3 minutes.
And you'll each have 3 minutes. So the first one, we have Jay Reed. After Jay, I'll ask for Leah to come forward.
Good evening. My name is Jay Reed. I appreciated your presentation last week, Madam Mayor, at the State of the City. And it got me thinking, you're right. Roseville is the economic center of Western Placer County and a leading voice behind a united Placer County. Whether it's cooperative public safety or transportation funding or other regional priorities, Roseville has always been at the forefront of building and defending a collective voice. And that's why Prop 50 matters here. Roseville already has its own independent redistricting commission, one that residents can trust because it operates transparent, free from political self-interest. Prop 50 would undo that kind of transparency statewide, turning back the clock to when politicians drew the lines to benefit themselves. If Prop 50 did pass, Western Placer County would be split into 3 separate congressional districts. Now, I was only able to go back to 1991, but Western Placer has always served as a single community of interest with 1 congressional representative. Prop 50's division doesn't strengthen our regional voice, it weakens it. And some may argue that a city council shouldn't even weigh in, that this issue is just too political. Well, I believe that California has proudly held up the Independent Redistricting Commission as a gold standard for the rest of the nation. And this wasn't about good governance, this is about political games. And Roseville has always stood up for regional leadership and accountability. And tonight, I respectfully ask that the council carry on that tradition by adopting a resolution to oppose Prop 50. And doing so would send a clear message. Roseville values transparency. It is a regional unity, and it has a fair representation for its residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Leah? Good evening.
Good evening. My name's Leah, and today I'm here both as someone who lives without shelter and as someone who believes we can do better. On a sleepless night by the creek, I realized what keeps people alive is not just a bed, but it's hope. That's why I urge you to consider a low-barrier tent city, a safe, managed space where people can rest, access services, and begin their journey to stable housing. Placer County's mobile shelter in Auburn shows us that this works. Tonight it serves about 45 people consistently, with positive feedback from the community. Here in Roseville, our January 2025 point-in-time count showed 260 people experiencing homelessness, with 73% unsheltered. That's nearly 190 people sleeping on our streets tonight. And across Placer County, 711 unhoused individuals were counted, 415 of them unsheltered. Among those, 296 are chronically homeless, facing multiple barriers like mental illness and disability. Permanent supportive housing is vital, and there's real progress with over 538 people housed in recent years via permanent programs. But building takes time, and so we need a compassionate bridge and not a stopgap, one that keeps people safe, reduces trauma, and preserves dignity. I ask the council to help start that bridge, fund a pilot, partner with community groups, and set a path toward a managed low-barrier site. Let's not wait until the next tragedy. Let's act both with compassion and urgency, and because our neighbors deserve safety tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker, we have Stephen.
Hello. I'm also homeless. I'm just trying to finish what I started 2 weeks ago. First of all, I want to thank you guys for hearing me and for your time and for all you do for the homeless community. the Gathering, the Welcome Center, the Lotus program. It's all been beneficial to me personally and to my wife, Leah. I want to first off say about a month ago we were kicked out of our camp. The officer came and said he didn't even give us a 48-hour notice. That's not the point. The point is that we had a park restriction. He gave us a 24-hour park restriction, and because he was giving us a park restriction, we only had 20 minutes to get what we could and get out, and we had to leave all the rest of our stuff. With this being said, there's a huge trash problem with the homeless and their campsites. When we only have 20 minutes to get our stuff and to leave, I've on an occasion asked the officer if I can go back and clean up my mess. They often say no. They actually, every time they've said no. So we end up having to leave all of our stuff, which becomes a big problem. So the city doesn't always come and pick up our stuff, and other people come through and can pick through it. And so that's part of the problem in leaving such a huge mess. I also want to give a solution about this mess with the pilot program in Auburn, which is a mobile temporary shelter. It's a tent city. There's very many benefits to that program. The environmental contribution is centralized waste management, which means less trash, sanitary facilities, which means less human waste. Clearing of informal encampments is less pollution to the area, and up there, American River, here it would be the creeks. Controlled location of the tent city, it reduces environmental footprint of the homeless in public lands, including waterways and open spaces. There's a health and safety protocols. It's healthier and safer for all. Less paperwork by the police, courts saving money. Less emergency room visits paid for by taxpayers' dollars can be used as a step for more permanent housing. Less effort to find and help homeless and while they do their counts. Save city money in trash removal. This homeless shelter was part of a two-settlement agreement about property loss during clearing of homeless encampments in 2022. District 3 Supervisor and Board Chair Jim Holmes quoted, "This settlement avoids a costly legal battle and instead invests public funds into our community."
Stephen, you're out of time. We'll just have you wrap up your comment. Are you finished?
I'm finished, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment? We have come forward. And then we have a second public comment at the end of our meeting. Good evening.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Chapman, and I was a little confused because I was looking for Arcona on the agenda earlier, and then I didn't see it, and then the presentation was here. So I was going to comment on Arcona, but I guess the topic is emergency preparedness, which I think Arcona it should have a huge role in. And again, I've said this before, it's fantastic that the city has divided itself so clearly into these neighborhood zones, and it's really important, and it can be really important in emergency planning, and I think it's a next step. It's a next chapter. I've been in touch with Jim Kidd recently because I'm in one of the inactive association areas, and I mentioned working with disaster councils and fire safe councils and CERT, community emergency response teams, and apparently there was some effort to do CERT teams in Roseville in the past. I don't fully understand why it didn't work out, but we had a fire emergency at the terraces just the other day, and it's just clear that having everybody understand what's going to happen, have lead people in clearly marked vests, and things that would help things go more smoothly. And one of the first things that I learned about the history of Roseville was that train explosion in the 70s, which was like, wow, I never even heard about that just regionally. So we know that fire, again, I still say there's an urban-urban interface, even if there's a sense that we don't have a wildland-urban interface here. We do have a fire potential that's very present. We do have flood issues. Even though there's been a lot of mitigation, it can still create situations where there's an emergency where people need to work together as neighbors and evacuations and things like that. And I'll just say things like active shooting, which our security guard at church thinks about, and just all kinds of things. So emergency preparedness is, I think, a really huge, wonderful frontier. Obviously, there's already great partnerships with the fire department and police department with Arcona. I just would love to see more work on emergency planning with neighborhoods. And lastly, I just think, it's amazing. And I would live in an area that had a very strong association. And I think taking a real hard look at why associations go inactive would be really productive for everybody involved. As an example of, it may be that people get their community service fulfillment in other groups, but understanding how to tie those groups back into Arcona, like Kiwanis or, other partnerships that, with other groups. Anyway, I'm just saying, I think that with 45 neighborhood areas, and I know it's been pointed out to me that some of them are, the Galleria or industrial, but they're still people. And from an emergency planning perspective, that's a neighborhood, it's a community. If something happens in a mall, everybody needs to have a plan. So,
Chapman, you're out of time.
okay, but thank you. Arcona's great. Emergency planning is great too. Thanks.
Thank you. Is there anyone else tonight that would like to make a public comment? You'll have another opportunity at the end of our meeting too. So if there's no one else, I'll close public comment and we'll move on to the consent calendar.
Thank you. Consent calendar items are considered routine in nature and are approved by one motion of the City Council. An item may be pulled for further discussion by any member of the City Council staff or the public. At this time, neither council or staff has made such a request. Is there any member of the public that would like to pull an item for further discussion? Mayor, seeing none at this time, the City Council will consider consent calendar items 2 through 16. May I please have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor with a second. We'll start a roll call with Vice Mayor Albert.
Yes.
Councilmember Haldeshelt?
Yes.
Councilmember Mendoza?
Yes.
Councilmember Rakucci?
Yes.
And Mayor Bernasconi.
Yes, thank you. Okay, we will move into item 17, which is a planning commission vacancy. We will make an appointment this evening. Staff for that?
Thank you.
I think we're going to need 4 sheets.
I don't, oh yeah, I do.
Do you have your sheets?
Evening, Mayor Bernasconi and council members. My name is Katrina Six from the City Clerk Department. I am here tonight to present to you the Board and Commission's unscheduled vacancy for the Planning Commission. Before you tonight, as I stated, you will be voting on just the Planning Commission. You will be appointing one member to a partial term due to the unscheduled vacancy. This term will expire on June 30th of 2026. We received 5 applications: Michael Bradford, Einar Maish, Louis McGeorge, Jason Probst, and Jim Ratliff. The recommendation before you tonight is to vote in one member to fill the unscheduled vacancy from the 5 applications. Your ballot tonight is green. We will go ahead and begin the voting.
Sorry, open it to public comment.
Thank you very much. We'll open this up to public comment. Is there anyone who would like to comment on this item? Okay, seeing none, I'll close public comment.
Mayor, could I just get clarification? So this is a term that will run through June 30th of
Next year.
2026. There's also a current Planning Commission member whose term expires in June of 2026.
Are you talking about the upcoming one in November?
No, I'm talking about June 3rd, Eric Brashears.
Oh, you're talking about the term that's coming. Yes.
Okay, just clarification.
Few
So
vacancies
we'll
coming
do,
up.
yeah,
Yes.
there's going to be a few vacancies.
Great. At this
And
time,
we just have the one.
if the council could please cast their votes and send the ballots down my way, please.
That'll work. And it works.
So we will start off with Vice Mayor Albert selecting Einar Maish as her candidate. Councilmember Haudashelt, Einer Maish. Councilmember Mendoza, Einer Maish. And Councilmember Rakucci, Einer Maish. And Mayor Bernasconi, Einer Maish. I think it's a unanimous 5-0 for the appointment of Einer Maish. With that, may I please have a motion to approve the appointment?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. At this time, the city council will appoint Einer Maish as the planning commissioner for a term expiring June 30th, 2026. We'll start our roll call with Vice Mayor Elbert.
Yes.
Councilmember Haudashelt.
Yes.
Councilor Mendoza.
Yes.
Councilmember Rakucci.
Yes.
And Mayor Bernasconi.
Yes. Thank you. And just an encouraging note, congratulations to Einar, and also encouraging those who applied to reapply again, as we have
Very strong
vacancies
field.
often.
Very
Yes.
strong field.
Yes. Okay, we will move on to item 18, which is the Roseville Venture Lab. New non-capital multi-year project approval program agreement, professional services agreement, sponsorships agreements, and budget adjustment. Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor Bernasconi, members of the City Council. Melissa Anguiano, your Economic Development Director, joined tonight by Wayne Wiley, the city's Economic Development Manager. For the last few years, the Roseville Venture Lab has established itself as a hub for innovation and entrepreneurs, providing resources, workshops, space for local startups, talent, youth, and small businesses alike. Tonight, Wayne's going to go over an exciting presentation about kind of how the Roseville Venture Lab started, where it's at, and the exciting future ahead.
Great. Well, thank you for that introduction, Melissa, and good evening, Mayor Bernasconi, members of the council. Again, I'm Wayne Wiley, Economic Development Manager, and I'm excited to be before you this evening to present this request in support of the continued operation of the Roseville Venture Lab and associated programming that's been offered to the community over the last 3 years in partnership with a variety of local and regional partners, some of whom are here tonight. But first, I think what might be helpful is that I provide a little bit of background or context, especially for folks who may not be familiar with the Venture Lab. So as you know, back in May of 2022, Council approved the establishment of the Venture Lab in alignment with Council's goals of enhancing economic vitality. And as part of this initiative, it was really seen as an opportunity to diversify our approach in achieving the goals outlined in the city's strategic plan. Now, through our assessment of both local and regional needs, we developed programs and have been focusing on efforts that are critical to supporting entrepreneurs, small business, enhancing strategic partnerships, and advancing workforce development initiatives. Now, with that being said, the goal has been to attract capital and talent while increasing job growth and tax revenue. Now, in order for us to achieve these goals, in partnership with the Growth Factory, initially we developed a 5-year implementation approach as shown here. And so for the first 3 years, we really kind of focused year 1 on launching the space and kind of activating it. Year 2 was more kind of from a strategic implementation standpoint, where we applied information gained in year 1. And then in year 3, we focused on expanding capacity through partner alignment. Now, as we move forward from year 3 into year 4, it's important to highlight some of the successes we've seen in the program offerings at the Roseville Venture Lab. And so a reflection of our success, next slide. So with that, there are a few signature programs that I would like to highlight, first being the Roseville Rising program, and there's really 2 tracks to this, one for students and one for professionals. And we've seen tremendous success with these programs. There's been a high level of engagement, very positive feedback from the community. In addition to that, there's been youth programming around robotics and engineering, and then a lot of small business and entrepreneurial mentoring and support for the business community. And that's really strengthened the ecosystem, and there again has been well received by our community. Next slide. And so with that, I wanted to highlight some of the successes, and I wanted to note that year over year, we've seen an increase in activity at the Venture Lab, with seeing over 4,000 visitors to the space last year. And so keeping in mind, this was previously a vacant city-owned space that sat unoccupied for years. So the level of activity and engagement that's been created in our downtown has been a win in and of itself. But in addition to that, RVL, or the Roseville Venture Lab, has been recognized regionally and has been a benefit to a variety of businesses within our community. And I know it's a little difficult to read here, but really this slide highlights the breadth of partners that have been engaged in the variety of program offerings that we've provided over the last year. Now, with that being said, as noted in my previous slides, our implementation strategy always included program advancement. And to that end, based on the feedback and the needs of our community, we've seen an opportunity to build on Venture Lab's successes and offer additional programming under these areas. And so just to spend a moment to talk about these at a really high level, you have computer-aided design classes or CAD classes, which we've heard from our development community and talking to a variety of engineering firms and home builders that this is a skill set that they would appreciate being more accessible to their employees. Financial empowerment programming, which at this time we're kind of contemplating maybe 2 programs, one for youth, one for adults. Virtual reality career exploration program. This is something we're really excited about in partnership with the Roseville Joint Union High School District and the Roseville Area Chamber. I think there's a lot of merits with this program in addition to some other things that I think will spawn out of our relationship. And then you have innovation challenges and then workforce development programming that will be done in partnership with the Health Education Council, which has alignment with the Invest Health initiative that's currently underway, and then Cal EPIC, which was previously the California Mobility Center, focusing on green jobs. And so with that being said, tonight's presentation includes a list of recommendations that will help us carry out kind of the next phase of the RVL. And as part of that, there are a variety of partners who will assist with program delivery, ranging from local to regional partners. Now, at this time, we are requesting an updated program agreement with the Growth Factory to align their organizational capacity with the management of 2 programs that the city initially engaged them to develop and implement for the city of Roseville. Additionally, as noted in your staff report, the Growth Factory will no longer manage the space due to kind of the restructuring of their nonprofit organization, and the city proposes to enter into a professional services agreement with the City of Roseville's Area Chamber of Commerce, and that is for an amount not to exceed $80,000 over the next 2 years, per year for the next 2 years. And just as an aside, I wanted to highlight that we feel that there is strong alignment with the Roseville Venture Lab goals and initiatives and that of the Roseville Area Chamber, which presents an exciting opportunity that will further strengthen our partnership with the Chamber. Now, in regards to partnerships, I'm also very excited to announce that not only do we have kind of more of the programmatic partners that are going to help with the delivery of programs, but to date, we've onboarded 12 funding partners who have committed approximately $130,000 in support of the Roseville Venture Lab initiatives. Now, these partners see value in the Venture Lab and are willing to invest alongside the city, which really demonstrates our collective commitment to small business and entrepreneurship. And so with that, we are requesting a budget adjustment of approximately $394,000. And I just wanted to clarify this because it might be a little confusing. In the staff report, $300,000 of that is coming from the Strategic Improvement Fund, while the other $94,000 is coming from sponsorship dollars that just will need to be transferred over to the project budget. Now, with that being said, we do recognize the significance of this funding, so it's important that I take a moment to highlight the leverage resources and fiscal benefits. And so, starting off, as I mentioned, the funding will come from the SIF and will not impact the general fund, which honestly, the SIF, or the Strategic Improvement Fund, is really intended for these types of strategic community initiatives that would result in economic benefit. And to that end, this investment could potentially generate millions of dollars based on direct, indirect, and induced impacts. In addition, as I mentioned, there's strong community support, both with in-kind partners and funding partners. And then finally, and I think this is really critical to note. This really sets us apart from other communities and highlights our innovative approach to collaborating with partners and investing in our local businesses. So with all that being said, that takes me to my recommendations before you tonight. And there's 5, and there's a lot to read here, so I'll just summarize. The first is staff is recommending that council approve the project and amend the project agreement with the Growth Factory, execute a professional services agreement with the chamber, authorize the city manager to execute sponsorship agreements, and approve the budget adjustment for $394,500. So with that, that concludes my presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much, Wayne. Does the council have any questions for Melissa or Wayne? Before we open up to public comment?
Yeah, I need to understand the math. So 394 is for 2 years?
Correct.
Okay, 394 includes the strategic, or does not include the strategic partnership, and that was 130,000 or 80,000? Which is, so the chamber has strategic partners that have committed 80,000, and where does that come? Help me understand, maybe.
Yeah. So there's going to be a transfer of $300,000 from the Strategic Improvement Fund into the project fund. And now the budget adjustment notes $394,000 because 94,000 of that are sponsorship dollars. So they have to come into the city first and then get transferred into the project fund. And so that's where the budget adjustment's coming from. Now that 94 isn't reflective of the total 130,000 commitment that we've had from community partners. But as that additional funding comes in, there would be a subsequent budget adjustments that would transfer that money into the project. Now, the second point is the contract with the chamber. That's a professional services agreement to pay them to help manage the space. And that totals $80,000 per year for a 2-year contract. That $80,000 is inclusive into the overall programmatic expenses or program expenses.
And the 394 is for 2 years?
Correct.
Okay. Help me, and this is, so the chamber set up the talent pipeline management as well, which I believe uses that space from time to time, or no?
From time to time,
Okay.
yes.
So I'm just trying to understand the difference between understand the convergence between the venture lab and the talent pipeline management.
Yeah, so that's the TPM, Talent Pipeline Management, is a workforce development initiative that's done in partnership with the city, Roseville Area Chamber, and a variety of community partners. And that's one of the exciting parts about the Venture Lab because it emerges and allows all of these collective community partners to convene in one location with shared initiatives and goals. And so the Workforce Development Initiative, TPM, is one aspect of that. And so the Chamber does hold events there related to TPM, but there's a broader effort related to workforce development, and events will occur at the Venture Lab associated with those as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mayor.
Sure. Okay, we'll open it up to public comment. I do have 3 cards, but if anyone else wants to speak to this, you can fill out a yellow card, and I'll go in this order: Ananda, Jasmine, and Amy. So Ananda, do you want to come forward? Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, Mayor Krista Bernasconi, Vice Mayor Karen Alford, and City Council members. Thank you for the opportunity to let me speak today. My name is Ananda Vrochita. I am the CEO for the Roseville Area Chamber of Commerce. I'm excited to share details about our new partnership to manage the Roseville Venture Lab and what it means to our businesses, community, and the future of local workforce development. I would also like to recognize those who are here with me today, representing the Chamber, Board Chair Ann Bouchard, President of Bouchard Communications, Board Secretary and Treasurer Kim Menzel, Senior Vice President, Area Manager for Kaiser Permanente, and CEO of Kaiser Permanente and Roseville Medical Center, Amy Triplett, Monica Goodpasser, Director of HR and Finance, and Director of Membership. The Chamber is honored to support the city in creating a dynamic, innovative hub at 316 Vernon Street. Our partnership isn't just about space management. This is a strategic move to help entrepreneurs, small businesses, and the next generation of workers to find the support, resources, and connections they need to thrive. Through daily oversight, programming, and operational excellence, the Chamber will help activate the Venture Lab as a destination for business development and growth. A key area of alignment is our shared shared focus on workforce development. The Chamber is proud to launch a new career exploration partnership with the city and the school district, giving students real-world insight into today's job market and connecting local employers to emerging talent. Partnerships like this help create clear career pathways for young people while strengthening the local economy and business base. Member benefits are central to our model. Chamber members will enjoy priority booking, discounted rates, and exclusive programming in the Venture Lab. We're making it easier for businesses to collaborate, hold events, and engage with one another, all while helping entrepreneurs access training, mentorship, and opportunity. We've also had great success working with Wayne Wiley, who sees the great possibilities because this isn't just a space, it's part of the building blocks of growing this incredible city. Together, we're building a center for innovation, entrepreneurship, and economic opportunity in Roseville. Thank you so much for supporting this important partnership.
Thank you very much. And I will just say we have maybe 8 speakers on this topic. So just know that if anyone else has made the point, you don't need to make the same point. Just ask that you not be redundant in the effort to save a little bit of time. So with that, Jasmine, you're up.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council members. My name is Jasmine Ward. I'm the Vice President of Marketing and Communications for Greater Sacramento Economic Council. We're an economic development group representing the 6-county region, including the city of Roseville, and commend our partners here at the city for championing this important work. We partner across public, private, and higher education to drive sustainable economic growth. And a key part of that is creating and retaining high-wage jobs for our residents. The Roseville Venture Lab is a really critical piece of that mission. This is an important space that provides programming for workforce development and entrepreneurship, among others. In the spirit of not repeating things, I'm going to focus on the entrepreneurship piece. These entrepreneurs are creating businesses that are driving job creation for this community. And those in kind of the innovation space have what we call a multiplier effect. They create demand for services and goods in the community that drive further job creation, tax revenue for the city, and improve quality of life. This is really, the Roseville Venture Lab is a blueprint that other communities look to emulate as they think about their economic development and sustainable growth. That's why one of the reasons why GSEC was proud to recognize the Venture Lab with our annual competitiveness award in 2023. In just 3 years, the Venture Lab has transformed an empty space into a thriving hub, attracting thousands of visitors. And so we encourage supported continuing funding for this initiative to help continue this momentum for the city. Fueling not only business and job creation, but also giving your residents the tools and training they need to fill those jobs and really thrive. So thank you so much for your time, and we encourage you to support this.
Thank you very much, Jasmine. We'll call up Amy next, and then after Amy, Dr. Tucaros. Good evening.
All right, good evening. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council members. My name is Dr. Amy Schultz, and I'm Executive Dean of Workforce and Strategic Initiatives at Sierra College. And I want to express our strong appreciation of our partnership with the city on Roseville Venture Lab. As shared, the Venture Lab has become an engine for innovation and entrepreneurship, but it goes way beyond startups. Now the Venture Lab will also serve as a convening space for our industry advisory boards, where employers sit side by side with educators to ensure workforce training programs align with the needs of local industries. The Venture Lab is also a convenient gateway for families and students in Roseville's core neighborhoods. Through outreach events in the Roseville Venture Lab, Sierra College is helping high school students and their families understand the opportunities in high school dual enrollment in the business and high demand careers that will keep our economy strong. Also, I'd like to share a couple of concrete examples that have come out of the Venture Lab over the past few years. One of my favorite memories in the Venture Lab was our Regional Public Center Training Center Design Charrette. So imagine about 25 chiefs in uniforms from law enforcement and fire doing a design charrette with, we had 3D printed models of buildings, and the guys were sitting around like trying to figure out where things go to put together the ideal public safety training center. So that was about 3 years ago, and we are thrilled that this dream is now becoming a reality. We are in the process of purchasing 50 acres to build a regional public safety center for Sierra College and for our partners in public safety to keep everyone trained. And then the other example that was shared earlier is the talent pipeline management. And I can't express the impact, how much impact there has been around TPM. We held our first TPM Academy in the Venture Lab. Many partnerships were formed just out of being in the academy together. And also through that, we have 5 TPM collaboratives that have formed that are building new partnerships and strong workforce partnerships, workforce pipeline. The partnership with the city demonstrates how higher education and local government can work together to strengthen innovation, expand opportunity, and create pathways for our residents. On behalf of Sierra College, I thank you for your vision and support. I look forward to continuing this partnership. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Schultz. Dr. Caros, good evening.
All right. Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. My name is Dr. Tucaros, and I am a longtime Roseville resident with 2 students, one who just graduated from West Park High School, headed to UCLA in 3 weeks, wishing to come back here to this region to serve in our region, and then, of course, another 10th grader who have just started school. I'm here tonight as both a professional and as a resident of our great city. Professionally, I serve the Roseville Joint Union High School District as our Assistant Superintendent of Education Services. What that means is I provide support and leadership for everything academics, including oversight of our college and career and technical education efforts for our city high school students and then, of course, for our city. I'm here in support of the Roseville Venture Lab. As you heard from your staff member, Mr. Wiley, through Mr. Wiley's leadership and through your generous support, we are able to support our students to explore careers that are available to them post-secondary in our dynamic city, which they may not have necessarily been exposed to. So, for example, I just spoke with a recent graduate student this past summer who has completed her career, her 4-year degree over at Sac State, and wishes to enter a field in the city of Roseville as an ultrasound technician that she didn't know existed in our robust, growing healthcare industry in our city. And that is exactly what the Venture Lab has and will help our students to do, which is to explore careers via a virtual reality headset program, as you heard Mr. Wiley speak to, whereby students can experience careers virtually, available in the different industries in our phenomenal city with a huge presence, including healthcare, manufacturing, hospitality, construction, and information technology. I'm proud of our city and the investment in our youth, our future leaders for our city and for tomorrow. And by continuing to support Mr. Wiley, the Venture Lab, and signature programs like Roseville Rising and Young Youth Programming, we are sending a strong message to our young people that we value them, that we wish to invest in them as our city's future labor and workforce, as well as our future taxpayers, and of course, as our future leaders for our great city. Thank you for your continued support, and I ask for you to respectfully support and approve staff's recommendations.
Thank you for your comment. Okay, we'll move on to Vasu, and then after Vasu, Jay Ross.
Hi, good evening, Mayor and council members. So I represent Plaza Robotics, also short for Plaza Robotics. And we got connected with Roseville Venture Lab August 3 years ago, actually, August 2022. We were in Loomis at that point, struggling for space. and we couldn't launch new programs, and we decided to look for space and got introduced to RVL and Wayne. While we were looking for that space, RVL was really kind enough to, and very supportive actually, to help us launch a robotics program for elementary school age kids right in RVL. It was great fun over that entire season. Young kids running around RVL on Fridays helped us launch that program, so that's our first connect point. The second is we eventually found the space, and thanks to Wayne and RVL, we were able to find space right on Vernon, a few blocks from here. And just to kind of give you some numbers, the impact of the support we got from RVL, we went from competitive robotics for elementary age kids, pretty much nothing, to 35 teams at this point, 3 years later. We went from 100 competition team members to over 200 now, so doubled up. That doesn't include what we spun up at the robotics programs at the likes of Cabot Junior High, Oakmont, as well as supporting other schools like West Park and Rockland. Right now, we're actually spinning up robotics program at a nearby Title I school. We went from 75 summer camp kids to well over 250 now. These are kids who are getting introduced for robotics and STEM for the first time ever. And then we also now have a combat league for middle school kids, which we never had. And on a side note, by the way, the middle school competitive robotics champion is from Placer Robotics, a Roseville team, beating out Bay Area teams in Bay Area, so we're pretty proud of that. So in summary, I want to say this: fully supportive of RVL and continuing and going with the recommendation. Placer Robotics growth would not have been possible without the support of Wayne and RVL. That's a fact. Second thing is that it's had a positive impact on youth leadership and technology skills development, especially with Roseville Rising and CAD. Our combat kids who competed at national level benefited from the CAD classes, so thank you for that. And finally, I think driving technology, leadership, innovation is critical right now. At this minute, we need programs like RVL that connects local, regional, like-minded youth and leaders. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll hear from Jay Ross, and then after Jay, we'll move to Jeff Taylor.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor, Madam
evening.
Vice Mayor, council members, City of Roseville, thank you so much for having us. I'm going to make this short and to the point. Roseville Venture Lab has been setting a trend that other cities are now looking at. So I sit on the chair at the Auburn Economic Development Commission, and we've been looking to the Roseville Venture Lab and the things that have been happening here and how much it's innovated just this community alone. And now we're bringing in other resources from Placer County. So besides that, I also run kidsapalooza.org, which is a celebration of children and music and art and wellness. And we've been able to partner with the Roseville Venture Lab, or I shall say with Wayne and the Economic Development Commission and the Growth Factory at the Roseville Venture Lab. And our partners extend from the RPAL and Jamie Hazen and bringing forth entrepreneurship academies, as well as the Placer County Office of Education on our arts education strategic plan. We've been able to meet at the Roseville Venture Lab. And we've also been able to partner with amazing organizations like the Arts Council of Placer County. And just so you know, our creative economy that we are working to bring over here to Roseville Venture Lab in Placer County has brought in over $26 million in tax revenue. And so our goal at the Roseville Venture Lab with Kidsapalooza is to be able to showcase that pipeline from education to workforce and what does it look like for creatives. We've hosted comedian entrepreneurship meetups, and they ended in comedy happy hours, which I really suggest you all check out. We've had youth entrepreneurship academies, otherwise known as YAY, and we've had so many great programs. So I just really want to encourage that what you're building here is far beyond what you could imagine, and that other cities are looking at you for your innovative ways. So thank you.
Thank you. Jeff is up, then Jenny, and then Mirsad. Not saying that right. Will wrap us up. Okay, thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and the Council. My name is Jeff Taylor. I am here as a business owner. And so I met Wayne, and he invited me to Roseville Rising, which has been the best thing that's happened to me as a business owner. I wish I've had this type of tools and support coming up as an entrepreneur, what I've learned during Roseville Rising. It's something great. It's something great for the community. It gives people tools. It gives entrepreneurs the level of confidence to go out there and pursue their dreams. I even come back and even started mentoring other students here at Roseville Rising. And I'm going to be opening up my own store here, Cakes by Jeff the Chef here in Roseville. So this is a great program. Continue the program. I support it. Whatever I can do to support this program with Wayne, I'm here for you guys. But please keep this program going. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and staff. My name is Jenny Darlington Person, and I'm the Executive Director of the Arts Council of Placer County. I began my current role a little over a year ago, and one of the first things I did was visit the Roseville Venture Lab for a headshot event that we were doing in partnership with them. I was immediately impressed with the space, its convenient location, and the flexible workspace incorporating technology makes it the perfect place for connecting and convening our artistic, creative community. Therefore, I want to speak in support of the Venture Lab and the staff's recommendations. Creativity and collaboration create the best conditions for innovation, and arts are a vital part of that equation. Across the country, we know that the creative sector is not only a driver of economic development, but also a catalyst for community building and community well-being. Here in Roseville, artists and arts organizations are entrepreneurs. They generate jobs, attract businesses, and bring vibrancy to our public spaces and our neighborhoods. Just as importantly, they help create a kind of welcoming, dynamic community that businesses and families want to call home. Studies have shown that when art is incorporated into public spaces, visitors feel safer, and therefore they spend more time eating, shopping, recreating, and more. The Arts Council has already partnered with the Venture Lab to provide professional development for artists and nonprofits, and we have seen the firsthand potential for this cross-sector collaboration. By embedding creativity into the heart of Roseville's economic strategy, this investment ensures that innovation is not limited to technology or business, but includes the imagination and resilience of our cultural community. So on behalf of the Arts Council, I applaud the city's vision in supporting the Roseville Venture Lab, and we look forward to continuing to collaborate to ensure that creativity and the people who bring it to life remain central to the growth and vitality of our region. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, members of the council. Wayne, Melissa, Dom, you all looking very nice tonight. Glad to be here. Stand before you tonight to represent the Growth Factory nonprofit. We are building an entrepreneurial talent ecosystem where the next generation of students, community businesses, and scalable technology startups acquire the mindset and the connections they need to learn, evolve, and scale together through experience, mentorship, and support of the community. My colleagues Mark Haney and Monique Brown, who I'm sure a few of you know, regret not being here tonight, but this in their regards. They've been partners in arms with me for the last 3 years to ensure that our vision of spreading entrepreneurship and the message that anyone can become an entrepreneur with the right support and the right help can do so. And the support of the City of Roseville and the support of the economic development team here has been testament to that. Where over the last 3 years, we've developed a series of programs in conjunction with the teams in Roseville to deliver programming for student founders and community businesses, helping prepare the workforce of tomorrow, especially one that is challenged by an uncertain future with a lot of challenges that face this generation, as well as community businesses that are looking to scale, grow their footprint within Roseville, add to the tax revenue, and employ additional talent. I've been working with startups and founders for the past 22 years. I never really thought I'd see myself working with high school kids up until 3 years ago, but the amount of passion, the zeal, and the commitment they have to seeing their futures through is testament that they are the future of this city. And Roseville Rising, having seen 160 children go through that from ages 13 to 18 and being in contact with them to this date and seeing their college journeys unfold, and pretty soon their entry to the workforce, is testament that giving them the power they need to survive in an uncertain future is critical, especially with the support of a city where they intend to come back and live and operate. Additionally, my friend Jeff the chef here, who went through the program last year, one of 12 founders that went through our 2024 food program. Of those 12, 9 have gone on to either start businesses in the Roseville area or optimize their existing businesses. Our friend Jeff doesn't talk about his accomplishments. He's been on TV many times, nationally, but he comes back and he supports our founders because he sees the value in strengthening its ecosystem as well. So I'm here at your disposal to answer any questions as to how we want to commit to developing additional programming and expanding current programming and working with the city to ensure that everyone here has a fair shake of entrepreneurship. Thank you.
Hey, thank you for your comment. Is there anyone else who would like to comment on this item? Now would be your time to come forward. Okay, we'll close public comment and bring it back to the council for further deliberations. Any other questions?
I'm just going to make some brief comments. Chef Jeff, I'm disappointed you did not bring your deliciousness tonight. But the point is that, we each have been there and we've come away with memories. And that was one of the memories, certainly part, the joy and the teamwork and the leadership that comes out of part is just, to me, a reason why we need to go full bore in supporting this. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, I think we're ready.
Great. On item number 18, the City Council will consider the recommendation to approve a new non-capital improvement project and adopt resolution number 25-293, approving an amended and restated program agreement by and between the City of Roseville and Growth Factory, and authorizing the city manager to execute it on behalf of the City of Roseville. In addition, adopt resolution number 25-294, approving a professional service agreement by and between the City of Roseville and the Roseville Area Chamber of Commerce, and authorizing the city manager to execute it on behalf of the City of Roseville. And adopt resolution 25-295, approving the form of the standard partner sponsorship funding agreement, and adopt ordinance number 6986, authorizing certain amendments to fiscal year 2025-26 budget, and declaring this ordinance to be immediately effective as an appropriation measure. With that, may I please have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Third, fourth, fifth, all of us.
So we have a motion on the floor with a second. We'll start our roll call with Vice Mayor Alvord.
Yes.
Councilmember Haldeshelt.
Yes.
Councilmember Mendoza.
Yes.
Councilmember Rakucci.
Yes.
And Mayor Bernasconi.
Yes, thank you, congratulations, and I'm going to do something real quick. We have a lot of community partners in the room, and many of you spoke, and I think that we need to take a quick picture. We have a few other things to get through on the agenda, and we usually don't do this, but if we can take a quick picture, and then you all can be on your way, and then we can finish up our agenda. Does that work? That's great. Okay. If you spoke or you're here to support, just come forward and we'll take a quick picture.
Mouth is watering.
Well,
Good to
sir.
see you again.
Pleasure to see you again. You're coming out on October 2nd. We're going to have another one of these showcases.
Oh.
I should have promoted that right now, actually. I guess,
Okay.
I can hop on the mic if you'd like.
Yeah. Does anybody, do you have an administrative assistant talent program? Because I could use one. How are you?
And we'll get one. Tag team.
Oh, are we going down?
Krista. Yeah. Yeah.
That way we'll be able
to get
Very nice.
Ready? On the count of three. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. You get it?
Can we do a thumbs up one?
Wayne was blinking there, so.
All right. Count of three. 1, 2, 3. 3. 1, 2, 3. Check. Good.
There's several on there, so hopefully one of them's good.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for being quick with that. This really almost takes us to the end of our agenda, but we do have an opportunity for one last public comment. Would anyone like to make a comment on any item that's not on the agenda? Now would be your time to come forward. Students have any questions? None? Okay. Okay, we'll close public comment, and we will finish up with staff and council reports. Do our staff have any comments they'd like to make tonight?
I do not, thank you.
For the reports, Mayor, thank you.
Councilmember Hadashot, you want to start with any comments?
Yeah, just a couple things. Had the pleasure of standing in for the mayor on Saturday, I think it was, for a new coffee shop that opened up.
Figured you and coffee, that
Yep.
wouldn't be a hard sell for you.
No. You know, and those folks that are the principals in the partnership in the coffee shop are also very supportive of our public safety, and they put on an event, I think a year or so ago, in support of that. And then went over to St. John's, where 4 new Eagle Scouts had their Court of Honor. So that was that. And then tomorrow is SACOG Transportation. And next week is Western Placer Waste Management Authority. Got an opportunity to tour the new facility with our staff, and tours are available. So I encourage you to go out and see how your trash is separated and repurposed and recovered. So thank you.
Vice Mayor Alward?
Okay, I don't really have any updates, and most of our guest speakers, although Ed, you're still here. I wanted to just thank both of our presenters, I think starting with Arcona, and I know that many of the volunteers that were here and many that weren't here tonight have watched how hard the neighbors work on behalf of other neighbors to really build community. So it was nice to hear just some of the accomplishments and, just the collaboration to bring that information forward. And I do know that having gone out to many of the meetings over the years, having our law enforcement there, our fire, it's a great way for neighbors to get caught up on what's going on around the community. So please pass on to your colleagues that aren't here how much I know, hopefully for all of us, appreciate that. And then to have, the speakers for the Venture Lab, and to hear just all the wonderful things that we're doing at the neighborhoods at the beginning of the meeting, and then to see what we're doing to really spur entrepreneurship and small business and to really help create a thriving community. So I just wanted to put those comments on the record.
Yeah, it's a good day. Okay, Councilmember Mendonça.
I don't have any updates, Mayor, but I just did want to recognize our city staff, our electric department, and our public works. We had a truck that decided to drop a pin at one of our our utility boxes outside of Station 7 last week, and they worked very diligently and quickly to get the power back onto our residents, and I know our residents appreciate that, and I always like to recognize our city staff for the good work they do. So nice job in getting that rectified and getting things back to normal. So thank you. That's all.
Yes, and happy belated big birthday to you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, it's a big one. Okay. I won't say which number it is, but.
It ended in a 5.
It ended in a 5.
No, it does not.
No, it does
It
not
ends in
end in
a
a 5.
0.
Oh, well.
We got to start over again,
We
Bruce.
will out him soon. Okay. Councilmember Coutinho, well, actually, we have a little plan for tonight.
Okay.
Right?
Yep. Yes. I had a couple of meetings last week with my electric utilities, and they were good meetings. But I had more to say than that, and so does our mayor. We lost this week 2 of our very fine council members, commissioners who died. And I'm going to talk a little bit about one of them, and the mayor will talk about the other. One is Audrey Husking. Audrey Husking is a woman who lived in Roseville most of her life. She worked at actually Roseville Hospital in emergency room as a unit secretary, which I worked in a hospital setting too, and so that's where Grand Central Station is the biggest part. And everybody knows it. If you go to ER, it always looks that way. But she went from that to very interested. Some of her neighbors, Ken Royer was telling her about maybe you want to run for council, not council, but you want to be more active in the community and learn things. And she had 4 children, and they were in Park and Rec and swam and did all kinds of things. Well, that's how Audrey started. She also told me when she was a child, her dad worked on a lot of the hydroelectric plants in Alaska, so she was very interested in electricity, and and that was kind of her friend. So we ended up teaming up together and became real good friends. And Audrey and I have spent many years together. She actually, with the City of Roseville, she spent 46 years on different commissions. And we're starting on the Planning Commission, Park and Rec Commission, Transportation Commission, many, many commissions. And she was the chair of a lot of them and made a difference. I look back, one of her first times that she was on Planning Commission was in 1987, and that was just as the City of Roseville was doing specific plans. So Planning Commission and all the commissions really have a very unique role of making a difference here in our community, and starting off like that, and especially when we were just doing our specific plans, really made a difference. She's always committed, loves Roseville. We'd go out to coffee or something, and I'd pick her up, and we didn't look about what clothes we're going to buy or what we're going to do. That it was where's the line on a property line, and what's happening in the City of Roseville. And there's a new building coming on there. What is it? Always caring about Roseville and always caring about the people. She and I were actually on a nonprofit organization together for kids for many years. And she just always she loved her family, she loved her kids, grandkids, always heard about them, and you always heard about Roseville. And so she'll be missed. But I think that her spirit was here. And if people do some of the spirit things that she did, just caring about people, be kind, find something that you'd like to do in your city, and help people. And I think that's what she did. And I'm thankful that I've known her most of my life, actually, and that she made a difference to all the people she touched.
Yeah. So. Thank you for your comments, Pauline. You were a good friend to her. The second person who we lost this week, Roseville pillar of our community and public servant, is the passing as former Mayor Harry Crabb. You probably recognize his name from different landmarks that the city has named after him, and I'll talk about some of those things. And we will adjourn tonight in both Audrey and Harry's honor. But I want to take a moment to honor Harry's life and the legacy that he left. He passed away peacefully last weekend at the age of 92. He dedicated nearly 25 years of his life to serving the city of Roseville, both on the city council and through his regional leadership. He was Roseville's mayor multiple times in the 80s and the 90s, and from 1998 to the year 2000. In each of those terms, he brought steady leadership and a clear vision for Roseville's future, and that vision he had for Roseville remained with him in his final days. He was a man who never lost sight of what makes Roseville such a wonderful community: strong public safety, thoughtful growth, and a commitment to preserving our quality of life. Even in his final days, Harry was reminding us of the importance of staying true to those priorities, and his voice and passion for Roseville never wavered. It's fitting that our city recognize his contributions during his lifetime, from the Harry Crabb Park in East Roseville to the Harry Crabb Underpass, where motorists enter on I-80 eastbound from Sunrise. That tunnel there, and the other dedications that bear his name. His leadership is woven into the very fabric of our community. So on behalf of our city council and the community and all who knew him, we want to extend our deepest condolences to his wife, Pat, and to all who knew him and loved him. He will be missed, and his legacy will continue to shape Roseville for generations to come. We want to honor both he and Audrey tonight. And if you have a chance, we would like for you to look up who Audrey Huskins was and Harry Crabb. Maybe that will be your homework for tonight. Students, you can report back to your teachers. They would be really impressed with that. They were wonderful people who made our city a better place. So with that, I will adjourn in their honor. We will be back here in 2 weeks. That's September 17th. Thank you all for being here, and we will stick around if we need to sign papers for the students. Thank you very much.